Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. Season 5, episode 17. We're still at the bachelorette party, and it's still not going well.
It's never ending.
That's okay. But before we get into it, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, which is also a Winter House podcast, and a Summer House Martha's Vineyard podcast, and any other spinoffs they do before this airs live. That's that podcast. We also have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Vanderpasta. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever we want because it's our show and we can do that. You also get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. For $2 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows. Everything I just mentioned, actually, you get access to everything. Plus, when we do old seasons, which is what we're doing now because this obviously has not aired since before COVID times. So this is an old season, but we have current Bravo news to talk about. So we're going to do an after show to talk about our current Bravo news, and that's what's $2 a month. But also, on top of that, I'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Darby, Dee, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Chrissy, Lauren, Michelle, Sarah L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Allison, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Jennifer, Leanne, Lisa, Rio, Robin, Taylor, and Tara.
Woohoo!
Ooh, killed it. Did I not? That was amazing.
You did, especially for, a little break.
Thank you so much.
We don't do these as often. Yeah.
No, yeah, I did amazing, I will say. Not amazing, to toot my own horn, but I will. Thank you so much. Then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, I'm really dropping the ball after I did so amazing.
That's good. You get to give us your thoughts.
Yeah, when we do live seasons, which is not now, but will always be. If you're ever questioning if there's a live season, the answer is probably yes. I post in the Patreon. You give me your thoughts, questions, opinions, concerns. We read them live on the podcast. And if we don't, in the finale, I've decided this, we'll read them on our next after show. So everyone's up to date. So hip, hip, hooray. Also, we'll pick a patron of the episode. So this is the show where we have so many awesome patrons, and I want to pay tribute to all of them, that I want to make sure that all of them get their little spot. So this patron of the episode is Michelle.
Woo, 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 woo,
Michelle,
woo,
thank
woo,
you
woo.
so much for being here. We appreciate your patrionism. Your patrionism.
I almost said patriotism, but that's not.
No, patrionism.
Wait, we appreciate you patronizing. Is that it? But not like that. I just realized as I said patronizing. Being a patron.
We appreciate the ability to patronize you if we want.
I'm patronizing myself.
Oh, that's awesome. But thank you, Michelle. Michelle's never going to forget this. She's going to be like, this is what Alicia and Meredith
is what I'm learning.
Like, they ran out of things to say. They must have been drunk or something. We're not, just so you know.
I'm not. This is probably the first time in a minute. Because
yeah, same. Agreed.
That sounds like I'm hammered every day. I'm not.
But all the time. Well, we admit it. Okay. So that is the really rough intro I did. But should we get into the episode?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go back to New Orleans,
okay,
where they are drunk all the time.
I'm like kind of jealous. No, I just want to be them.
I don't want to be them. I want to be in New Orleans.
I want to be this drunk. Okay.
Yeah.
Previously on Vanderpump Rules, Schwartz and Katie keep fighting because he cheated on her, and they're fighting on their bachelorette, and Kristen took it upon herself to fix things. And Carter and Sandoval and Schwartz got into a fight in the hallway, and Sandoval grew up to be fucking Sia. It's my favorite. Oh my God. My favorite disc.
This episode started off like so weird after, I know we talked about it last episode that like we thought these first few scenes were with that last episode. it just didn't fit together. I wish last episode plus the first like 7 minutes of this episode were still together, like we thought they were.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, but we're in New Orleans. It's 2:55 a.m. We're at the hotel. We're in Sandoval and Ariana's room. Ariana and Sheena are saying that the root of Katie and Tom's arguing is that girl he hooked up with in Vegas when he cheated on Katie. And Sandoval is, of course, defending Schwartz. And Schwartz is done. He's done and not marrying Katie. Which, whatever. All right.
Oh, God.
We'll see. Dramatic. But then in Katie and Tom's room, the girls are helping Katie, or like comforting her. Stassi didn't know that Schwartz cheated on Katie because it was a long time ago and Jack spilled the beans, and her and Stassi weren't friends at the time, and Stassi's really upset that she didn't know.
I can't believe Stassi didn't know at all. Like, I understand why Katie and Stassi didn't talk about it, but I'm really shocked Stassi never, like, I'll say heard about it.
Well, Katie didn't want anyone to know because she was protecting him.
Well, I know, but like, it was on the show
if I was
about
Kristen,
the kissing part.
If I was Kristen, I would have told everyone.
Yeah, I just feel like word would have gotten around. Like, I mean, I love a good light gossip, you know?
I agree. I feel like I would have heard about this if I was in LA.
1000%.
Yeah. Okay, so then we go back to Ariana and Tom's room, where Sandoval's basically in what I like to call mama bear mode for Schwartz. He's getting very upset with Ariana and Sheena for even communicating what Katie's side in this would be. And he says Schwartz...
They're losing the plot. Like, the girls are just trying to say, hey, this is what's being talked about, or this is what Katie's thoughts are. Not that they agree. And like, Sandoval is upset that they would ever utter the words like Schwartz slept with a girl in Vegas. And it's like, we're not saying he did. We're just telling you what the discussion is.
Well, how dare they put that propaganda out there, you know?
Oh my God. I hate these men.
So, Sandoval says Schwartz actually just proposed to someone who gave him an ultimatum. And Katie is the villain here. He hates Katie. You'll never change
responsible
my mind.
for his own actions, though? Like, okay, yeah, maybe Katie gave the, like, demand. But, like, Schwartz still chose to get down on one knee and, like, plan that weird-ass proposal.
It's because Schwartz is always just like the man-child. Like, everyone takes care of him and protects him. And
I know. I guess I would be so offended if people treated me like I had no brain. I had a friend in college who was like that. Everybody treated her like a child. And I'm like, to not have an original, like, to not be credited with an original thought ever would just bother me as a human being.
Yeah, I fucking agree. So, Sandoval starts yelling at Sheena because she put his finger in his face, and then he punches a door or a wall or something because he got so mad, and Ariana's like, dude, calm down, why are you mad? And Sandoval says he's mad that Schwartz is always belittled and told that he has to do all the time. Like, leave him the fuck alone, he's a fucking battered wife. And Sandoval kicks in the door, and Schwartz is sitting on a bed just looking disheveled with his wig off. He gives us a slight smile.
I don't know if this is the Mandela effect, but I always thought he was in a bathroom sitting on a toilet.
I thought he was on the toilet. I thought he was taking a shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about taking a shit, but I always just thought he was like sitting on a toilet seat or...
Which would have been way funnier if he's just like mid-shit, like, hey.
I just this year, 2023, found out that he was sitting on a bed.
Yep. Agreed. I agree. I remember this as a toilet.
Yeah.
So, we cut back to Katie and Tom's room. The girls are still comforting Katie. I would like to say, while drinking a Four Loko.
I'm dead. And these are the OG. I think these are the new iteration of Four Locos, the in-between version, where they did take out majority of the caffeine, I will say. So.
This is terrible to watch. But a Four Loko also, doesn't taste good.
I know. Katie isn't as mad as, like, I would have thought she would have been. Like, I feel like she is, like, more sober and, like, with it, of just being like, hey, this does upset me, like, just saying it, not, like, spiraling. So I'm kind of proud of her. Yeah,
she's not very mad. I got really distracted by the Four Loko, to be honest.
I got distracted when Brittany, like, reached over to, like, take a swig.
For
like,
it.
What she was doing.
She wanted it.
I know. I was just like shocked by like how much we seem to want to rage with this Four Loko at like 3 a.m.
I ugh, I have drank the Four Locos before they redid them and after, and it's all terrible. It's never okay to
I
drink
know,
a
but at
Four
least
Loko.
before they did really get you fucked up, you know?
It's just never okay to drink a Four Loko. Anyway, this is the biggest crime in the whole episode. Anyway, Schwartz, he's in a dress and makeup still, but no wig, and he finds his way back to his room, and he hears everyone talking, so he listens a little bit, but then he decides to come in, and he's like, hey, and then Kristen's like, hey, Tom, I love you. And Schwartz is like, I'm not looking at Dodie right now because she sat me down and said, I know you fucked a girl in Vegas. And Katie's like,
do you agree that like Kristen kicked this all off? Like, I think this conversation did need to happen maybe when they were sober, but like Kristen kicked off the chaos. She chose violence.
I completely agree. Also, my question is, did Katie like want Kristen to talk to Tom about it, or did Kristen just like take it upon herself?
Kristen is Kristen, so I think she took it upon herself.
Kristen is Kristen. But okay, so they're fighting, but Katie's basically like, yeah, you did fuck a girl in Vegas. And then Schwartz is like, yeah, and you're a bitch.
Which, like, I mean, I hate that comeback for Katie, but I loved it.
Oh my God. And then he goes, I wish Katie would just cheat on me, which was hilarious. I was cracking up.
I was like, this is all right. We've entered a new zone of being this drunk where like nothing is making sense. And we're now back to like 3rd grade middle school. I'm rubber, you're glue. Bounce it off to me and sticks to you.
Just imagine your fiance. You're like actually trying to discuss something and he goes, you're a bitch. I'd be like, excuse me?
Well, especially when
in
the
a dress. He's
like,
also
I'm still upset. Oh, yeah. But it's like, I'm still upset. I think you slept with a girl in Vegas. And he's like, you're a bitch. No, you can't have both those offenses at the same time. Bye, bitch. Get out of here. You're not sleeping with
that was awesome.
Tonight.
So then Brittany tells the girls how in the hallway Sandoval, because now, yeah, okay. Brittany is like, you know what makes me mad is that Sandoval and Schwartz were talking shit about Kristen in the hallway. And Kristen's like, yeah, it's all Sandoval's fault. He's a dick and he makes Schwartz act like this. And Schwartz would be perfect without him. And I was like, well, I think problematic men are always problematic.
Why isn't Schwartz responsible for his own behavior? I do think Sandoval sucks, but like Schwartz should bear his own blame for his actions.
I agree. If there's one thing we need to know, it's that problematic men will always suck, but in groups it's amplified everywhere.
True.
When they team up, nightmares.
But you can't like not blame the person of their own actions and say it's somebody else's fault. This is where Kristen truly does have a vendetta against Sandoval forever.
It's awesome. So Katie gets in her bed and Stassi gets in bed with her and Stassi apologizes for not knowing about the cheating. And Katie tells her like what happened. Basically, Schwartz went to Vegas and cheated on her and he only admitted to like 20% of what he did. And she thinks that he fucked her. And Katie says she's been with but the thing was she had been with Tom like long enough that this wasn't going to end them. And I was like, I don't know. I get what she was saying, but also it could end you, and maybe that's okay. But whatever.
It's okay if it ends you. But I hate that, I hate that this is happening, but this reminded me that, I love being a girl. I love girlhood. These two laying in bed, I hate that they're talking about a sad moment, but, I was like, oh, this is cute. I hate that it's about this horrible, shitty thing, and Katie's sad, but, I want to lay in bed with my besties and just chit chat.
Same. I really loved this. I was jealous. I want to be Stassi in this moment.
Yes.
So Schwartz is in the hallway and he's like, oh, this bachelorette party was a bad idea. And Jax is like, listen, dude, you just need to admit to Katie what you did. And Schwartz is like, I did admit it. And Jax is like, you have to admit that you fucked her and just say you're sorry at this point. It's done. And Schwartz is like, Well, what about her saying sorry to me for ruining my fucking life?
Which, like, he's so unhinged with these comebacks. I'm obsessed with them.
Listen, if I'm Katie and after I watch this episode, we're not getting married. This is terrible.
Well, she's watching this after like their wedding would have come up. So like,
we're divorced.
What, are you gonna divorce him now if they do get married? Like,
yeah, for ruining your fucking life.
This is like, they always say what, like, nothing good ever happens after like 1 a.m. Nothing good ever happens. Like, go to bed, Schwartz. Yeah. You're destroying your life.
It's like the How I Met Your Mother theory.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, terrible. So then
I need to start operating by that.
Always. So Jax is like, just apologize. And if that doesn't work, let's just call this off because this relationship sucks. And so Jax brings Schwartz back in the hotel room and Katie's like, no, get out. But Schwartz is like, Stassi can stay. That's fine. I just need to talk to you. And he tries to sit on the bed, but Katie kind of pushes him with her feet and he falls off. Mm-hmm. So then Jax kicks Brittany and Kristen out of the room and he's like, come on, girls, I need my dick sucked. What the fuck, these men?
Oh my God. I was about to, like, right before that, I was like, wow, how is Jax, like, the voice of reason? Like, he's doing so well. And then he's Jax.
Of course, then he was like, I'm just kidding. I'll go down on you. And then he's like, fuck, now I have to go down on her.
Now I have to do this. Wow.
I have to help my wife.
He sucks.
Or what are they? They're just dating. I don't know who's married anymore. This whole show. Anyway.
I don't know who's married, who should be married in the future. I don't think anybody should be with anybody. I think everybody needs to, like, go spend a year on an island.
How are Jax and Brittany, like, the most stable right now?
I think it's the comparison thing. All these other couples are just, like, spinning out of control, or the individual people are so insane that they end up seeming normal, and it's only because they're about a year into their relationship.
True. You're not wrong. Okay, so great. Schwartz says that he loves Katie a lot, but she can't take him seriously because he's blackout drunk and he still has on all of his drag makeup. So then we come to Brittany and Jax's apartment or hotel room, and she asks Jax what happened for real. And Jax explains that Schwartz came in wasted and admitted to him and Carmen that he hooked up with a girl, like sex. So he clarifies, like sex.
Which I bet he tried and did a little bit, but was too hammered, and it's not like it was good or anything.
I bet he didn't finish.
It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it's like, it's still a betrayal, like, no matter how far you went. I think if it just was like a peck in a club, I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's like him sleeping in a bed next to this woman. It doesn't matter what you did.
I was going to say that would send me over the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go back to Katie and Tom's room, and Schwartz is like, what did I do? And Stassi's like, you're being an asshole. And Schwartz is like, please, I'm the asshole. I have to deal with Katie going to the dark side once a month. I wish Katie would just fuck a guy. When I didn't even fuck a girl, I just made out with her when I was drunk. And then Schwartz tells Stassi that her dating life sucks because she dated Jackson Frank.
Oh my God. I cannot believe Schwartz in this moment. I love Stassi being like, what does my dating life have to do with you fucking a girl in Vegas?
I know. Stassi's like, what the fuck? You're a terrible arguer.
Well, there's no other guy. Like, there's no Sandoval here to deflect for Schwartz. So he actually has to do it on his own because he cannot just, like, focus on the actual root of the problem. Katie and Tom can just not actually be honest with each other and talk through the issue. They just scream crazy things at each other when they're hammered.
Agreed. The good thing about Sandoval, though, is he's usually able to be like, Stassi, why are you giving relationship advice? Like, your relationships sucked, whereas Schwartz just says it. He's like, your relationships suck.
Sandoval, like, makes it an excuse of why other people shouldn't comment on the situation, whereas, Schwartz is just throwing digs that don't connect.
So it's the next morning now in New Orleans. We wake up in Katie and Tom's hotel room where Katie wakes up with Stassi because Tom Schwartz wakes up in Jax and Brittany's room and he can't find his underwear and he remembers nothing, but he did wake up with a boner and a dress this morning.
Oh my God. Nothing says unhinged, shouldn't get married, like waking up with a boner in a dress.
Oh, I know. So then Sandoval and Ariana wake up. He's still in his nails and his full makeup, but they're basically worried that these problems aren't actually going to get solved today, which I would say is a safe bet. But then we go to my favorite couple's room, Sheena and Shay.
I
Shay, we
forgot
know.
Shay was MIA that entire night.
Yeah, he didn't go out. Hilarious. He had a night to himself, which I love for him. The room is trashed though, so it
Mhm.
looks like he had quite a night. But he did have chicken tenders and snacks,
I
which
mean,
chicken
good for
tenders
him.
are the
Like
best.
you always need snacks, especially when you're at a hotel room, like right next to your bed. Easy access, especially there's that like bag from the airport clearly.
Yeah, Hudson News.
Yeah, he planned ahead with those snacks.
But like also chicken tenders, what a night for him. So he did hear yelling last night. Poor Shay was awakened. And Sheena's like, oh my God, could you imagine if we were this terrible before our wedding?
Oh,
Um,
I'm like Sheena. It is apples and oranges. Like I don't think you guys are in the same situation. I do really think Katie and Tom are in a worse situation. But the only reason you weren't in a bad situation, Sheena, is because you were oblivious to Shay's drug use. So like I don't think you should like be on your, high and mighty horse there.
no, absolutely hilarious. I will support. This content was so funny because then Sheena's like, oh, they got a prenup, which is, I think, a good idea for them, but we didn't need a prenup because I wouldn't
Oh
marry
my
someone I
god.
didn't trust. And then she
Oh
goes,
my god.
like, what are you going to do, Shay? Empty out my bank account and go to Sir and get all my tips? And he goes, maybe.
Oh my god.
He's like, yeah, maybe.
Sheena. I mean, similarly, how like Jax and Brittany somehow look like a good couple, so do Sheena and Shay. But I'm like, let's not forget the problems we have witnessed like all last season. Like, there's plenty
No,
of
Shay's
issues
my
that we do know
favorite.
about.
Nope, Shay is my favorite character in the entire world.
The delusion is strong in that
I'm
room.
so obsessed with Shay. Okay, Katie and Tom's hotel room. Stassi's getting ready. She says that she has known Tom and Katie since before they even got together, and they're still fighting over the same things. She's trying to figure out how to
Oh,
support them as a couple. And I feel like if you've been having the same argument for 4 to 5 years, you should just stop. It's probably not
I
working.
know. It is kind of hard though to be friends with people like that because at a certain point you realize like you've as the friend you've got to stop being honest and like asking about the relationship or like commenting on the relationship. I have a friend who like got back with a guy who treated her terribly, and I've decided I'm just not going to comment on it. Like other people found out that they're
Ugh.
back together and they'll ask me about it, and even then I'm like I don't want to talk about this. Like I don't want anything getting back to them. I don't want to be involved in the drama myself. Like I want absolutely nothing to do with it.
Terrible. Um, okay, so then we cut to Sir. Lisa finds Nathalie outside with a team who's cutting her branches, whatever. So then she goes
Don't
back
let them touch
inside.
another one.
My branches. So we go back inside, and this rando, Katie O'Malley, finds Lisa and begs her for some time. And Katie's been hosting here for a year and a half and wants to be considered for a server. And Lisa's like, fine, I'll test you right now. But I have to take this call. So bye, Katie. And then she basically gives us a little insight that she loves promoting people from the bottom up, like her own son. Her own
This
son
was
was a
so
fucking
stupid.
busboy.
I mean, did Pandora ever start at the bottom? Probably not.
It's just to remind us that she hates Max. So,
I mean, truly.
Katie not Katie O'Malley, Katie Maloney calls Lisa, tells her that Tom and her are fighting, and Lisa's like, "What the fuck are you fighting about? You're not even married." And Katie's like, "Anyway,
Yeah.
are we gonna do a surf photo shoot?" And Lisa's like, "Go focus on your fucking relationship. Leave me alone."
Oh my god, this whole scene with Lisa, I was like, this is stupid. I understand in reality TV you're trying
Cringe.
to like show different stories or different locations, but like both this Katie hostess Katie and this conversation with Lisa was so useless. I no. No, I didn't eat it.
They, also, a producer was just like, hey, can you call Lisa? Because, like, how awkward was this whole thing?
I bet that there was more to the conversation where they did slightly talk about the photo shoot because it seems like in the next time on, we're going to get a photo shoot. But all right, then make that the conversation. Why do we need stupid Katie O'Malley? Like, actually give us the conversation between Lisa and Katie. That would make more sense.
Agreed. Terrible. Okay. Anyway, cut back to New Orleans. We're going to the pool. Everyone's hoping that today starts like better than yesterday ended. Sandoval has t-shirts for everyone. Schwartz comes here alone. He's basically like, this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened on my bachelor trip. And he just wants to run away and start anew while he takes a giant swig.
Yeah, he should want to run away and start anew. Like,
yeah, this
he
is
should
terrible.
want to run far away from this. Also, the fact that he has not talked to Katie really and is wondering, I guess he did slightly. No, he didn't this morning, did he talk to Katie? But
Nope.
no, he is asking everybody else. He's like, how's Katie doing? Has anybody seen her? Like, everyone is scared to see her.
Yeah, because she's there. This whole thing is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he takes a giant swig of vodka and he misses half his mouth. So this man is like,
God.
he needs a rest. They should really stop drinking. But also, I hope they never stop drinking. So we go to Stassi's childhood home with Katie, Kristen, and Stassi, of course. We meet Rosemary, her grandma, and we see good old Mark again, Stassi's dad. Never forget.
Mm-hmm.
So, the dad is selling their home, and Stassi wanted to see it one last time. We just hear a lot about her past, but one thing I do want to point out is Stassi has a best friend named Sheena Manina.
I was shook that her best friend's name was Sheena because, like, Sheena is a rare name in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. But also that her name's Sheena Manina.
Yeah. I know somebody whose name is Shelly Percelli. Same vibes.
Terrible. Terrible. So, Stassi loves her grandma very much. That's where she got her style. Grandma actually named her Stassi. Stassi's her favorite. It's all cute and great until they kiss on the lips.
I was wondering if you were going to comment about that. I'll give grandma more of a pass than like siblings kissing on the mouth. Grandma is at a less weird tier than siblings and like parents and kids.
Oh, but still terrible.
I know. I knew you would cringe at it. Also, what do you think about grandma announcing that Stassi's her favorite on national television? I would love this. I would put it in one of those frames, those like digital frames, and I have it play next to my grandma's bedside every day if she ever said this.
Same, unless you're the other grandkids.
Yeah, I know. I'd be pissed.
My grandpa actually in front of me and my sister said that my brother is his favorite.
I know I'm not the favorite, and I'm totally cool with that.
I was fine. It was just shocking to hear,
To actually hear it out loud, yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. Anyway, back to pool day. Schwartz is so disheveled. Jax is like, hey, you said you weren't going to marry Katie. And Schwartz is like, oops, my bad. I'll talk to Katie about it. And Jax is like, one more fight and they're done. They're not going to make it. But he also says sometimes in relationships, according to Jax, you just have to know when to stop. Like the way he stopped with the rumor about Brittany and Kristen.
Oh my God. These are not the same thing. I'm glad Jax thinks he quote unquote stopped and like how he's like patting himself on the back for that. But this is not the same thing.
That was awesome. He's like, I don't even bring it up anymore with Brittany and Kristen when they hooked up,
Yeah. I don't talk about that anymore. I'm just going to mention it one more time in my interview on national television, just so nobody forgets. Do you want to play a clip right now? We can revisit?
So good. Considering he was also the one starting that rumor and wouldn't want to stop it because then he was lying.
Yes. I already forgot about that. Jesus.
Can't stop. So then we go to Stassi's house. They do a mini pool day because they get in with their clothes. Katie needs a lot of sleep. Stassi and Kristen can't let anyone ever call her Tequila Katie again because they've seen Tequila Tom. And Katie hates that she's fighting with Schwartz, but this validates her because people finally saw him at his worst. And they hate each
Okay,
other. This is something I would
they
say if I
do.
like hated someone.
I am glad that like Katie is being vindicated on like Tom is also the problem, but like we can still call Katie Tequila Katie because she also sucks. This it doesn't remove any like of her fault in this.
Agreed. It's just kind of terrible. Um okay. Then we cut back to Sir. Because it's
Oh
time for
God.
Lisa to test Katie O'Malley. Honestly, I thought Katie did better than Brittany, even though it still wasn't great because she didn't know any of the ingredients. However, Katie gets denied.
Yeah,
Great.
dang, and this is a rigorous passing. Like I'd be nervous to serve Lisa, especially when she's like testing me. But yeah,
But
Katie
also,
O'Malley, go study the menu.
Brittany did worse.
Brittany was horrible. Never forget the romper she walked in on her first little interview thing when
Yeah.
she got denied.
Katie O'Malley is fully clothed at least. I'm just saying. Okay,
It's a low
so
bar here in LA.
we gotta go back to the New Orleans hotel. Tom is back. He asked Katie why they're fighting. So they fight about why they're
Oh my
fighting.
God.
I want this to be done, so I'm just gonna do a high overlook. Katie just
Perfect.
wants him basically to admit that he had sex with this girl, and he says he didn't, and he was so shit faced. There's no way he got an erection. So Katie gets even more mad. They're fighting again. Tom takes a swig of the Four Loko because somehow that's less
Oh,
painful than this.
the way he was
It's
like
warm.
so distracted. Yeah, but he was like so distracted in this argument would fire me up if I were Katie. Like, not only am I really upset about this incident, you say didn't happen, we're gonna disagree on that, but that's already the fight. I am going to get more pissed because you clearly do not care about this discussion to just focus. He's taking swigs of Four Loko, swigs of vodka, like he's la 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 lying all during this thing. I would literally punch him in the face, walk out, fly back to LA, and like move out of our apartment.
Yeah, he's really concerned with like just drinking and we're just gonna move on and have fun.
Any
He tell
distraction.
Schwartz also tries to put blame on her because he says like, "Okay, I fucked up in Vegas, but you sucked for the first 3 years of our relationship." And
Oh
Katie's
my
like, "You
God,
could have dumped me
yes.
then."
It was so insane. And at one point he even goes, let's just agree to disagree. I'm sorry. This is not an agree to disagree moment. No. This is not
No,
like what kind of dog should we get or like what color should our like bridal party wear.
but they actually do just agree to disagree and move on.
That
Basically.
I'm terrified for them. I'm so terrified when Katie finally goes, okay, because like she was so annoyed with Schwartz. She just needed to move on from the discussion. So she's like, fine, agree to disagree. You should just
Yeah,
never end with, oh, okay, fine. Let's just move past it.
truly terrible. Anyway, so we're going out tonight. We're going to Victory to the back room. And they get drunk really quick, but it's not a drunk like it usually is. This is a happy drunk. This is
Oh, I was
I
so
want to
happy
be
that they were
here.
happy. I
Ex-
know.
Except poor
Finally.
Shay. Shay's sober.
She's like, can I go home again and eat some chicken fingers?
He he's like, Sheena, come on. These aren't even my friends. I don't give a fuck about Tom and Katie.
No, he doesn't care about this at all. What a terrible city to go to as an alcoholic.
I know. So then they decide to do spin the bottle, which also sucks for Shay because Sheena's here like, oh, I think it's weird that they all want to make out with each other. Thank God I'm married. And I'm like, Shay can't even kiss anyone?
That's so true. He gets nothing out of this. I don't think, like a little peck, it wouldn't bother me. I don't want
Me
to do this
neither.
by any means, but if my whole friend group decides they're playing, and there's like 20 of us, we're playing Spin the Bottle, I'm not gonna be, especially if we're the only married couple, like, sorry, we're married, we're not playing. Like, you can just do a peck on the lips or a cheek and like still be cheeky and fun with the group.
I agree. I would have also been like, let's just like mini kisses. But we're
Wait till it's a
playing.
problem. Like, wait till the bottle ends up on you or you have to spin it.
Yeah, also there's a 50-50 chance like you're gonna get someone of the same sex as you in this group. So like if
Yeah,
Shay
which
are
isn't
you
a
really that
problem.
mad if Shay and like Tom Sandoval make it? I'd be like
I would
totally
love
fine.
that, actually. If
Do
my
it.
husband had to kiss like Sandoval, I would be like, get in there, babe. Let's go.
I get a picture. I'd be like, I'll just video the whole thing.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Schwartz of course, spins. He gets Sandoval. They don't do tongue, but it's a very long kiss. Like, this is more than a
I
peck. I'd be like, holy
died because
shit.
Schwartz is like, this is gonna be before he spins. He's like, this is my last time I get to kiss someone before I'm married. Which, I mean, sir, you're standing on this ground that you kissed this girl in Vegas while you're dating Katie. Maybe let's not like be so
Yeah,
certain
you're
this is
probably
our
going to cheat
last
on
kiss we're ever
her.
gonna. Yeah, like this isn't the moment, but sure, fine. Last kiss of singlehood, and you get Sandoval. Just, I mean, God is up there laughing at those men.
Hilarious. So, Schwartz gets Stassi to play. She gets Peter, which is awkward, but not that awkward because they've kissed already because they dated for a
Yeah.
while. So fine.
Easy breezy.
Peter gets Ariana. Sheena and Brittany kiss. Ariana and Jax kiss. And Sandoval yells, "Not again!" right in front of Kristen.
Oh,
so then
goodness.
Sandoval and Katie kiss, and Schwartz loves that. And then Ariana, Sheena, and Katie do a 3-way kiss. And then Sheena pushes Stassi and Peter's heads together, and they make out with tongue. And let me tell you, I want to kiss Peter, but I don't want to watch him kiss people. He's not fun to watch.
No, this was
It's
like
not it.
That is awkward to like your friends to make you kiss your ex like that. Like the peck isn't weird. That was weird.
The make out with tongue.
Yeah, I also am not like a huge PDA person. Like this game of like spin the bottle isn't weird because it's just like a lot of pecks and it's like a quick thing and it's constantly moving. But if my friends try to push my head together with a boy, even if I was dating him, I'd be like, I feel so uncomfortable with this much attention. It's just not my thing. I don't care if other people do. Like, I don't really care about other people's PDA. But for me, I would get so hyper aware of everyone watching me. I could never.
Yeah, I get that. But Stassi says whatever. It's better to kiss Peter in this bar than anyone else, so she'll take it.
Yes. Yeah.
So then Kristen goes outside because she's smoking a cig, which is one of my favorite storylines. And then Sandoval joins. He's very sweaty. Kristen calls him a giant asshole all the time, and she doesn't mean to be mean, but he is a giant asshole, and she's mad about what he said to Carter. And Sandoval's like, "Hey, can I just smoke my cig?" And Kristen basically is like,
so
"No peace."
Taken aback. He's like, "Okay, whoa, like you're gonna start shit up again tonight? Like you already revved everybody up last night. Again, we're gonna do this."
Also, all Kristen does is just talk at him, and he is like,
"Yes."
Okay, so basically she goes, "Listen, don't bring our dating life to my current boyfriend. Why would you talk shit about me from years ago? And Carter knows everything. Like, I already told him literally everything. He knows more than you. And yes, I did cheat on you." She goes, "I did cheat on you. I fucked a ton of guys behind your back."
Oh, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, twice in one weekend once." I'm like, "Oh my god, why are we digging this story back up?"
I was like, both of them are making just themselves look worse. Like, neither one is doing damage to either one of them. Like, it's just themselves. So Sandoval says, "Oh yeah,
I understand. Well, I understand Kristen like not wanting like shit getting to Carter, like them like using her past mistakes to like tear down her relationship with Carter. But Carter is the one who went after the Toms. And like when you feel like you're being attacked, you get defensive and you're gonna throw shit back to hurt them. Like it's not like Carter was just sitting in the lobby like do 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 do, and like Sandoval walked up and was like, "Your girlfriend like is such a cheater, a whore, a liar." Like that's not what happened. Like he's not. Carter is not innocent in this.
Yeah, and that's basically what Sandoval says. And then, of course, Kristen's like, "Just leave us alone." So they do a really awkward hug that I want to die. And then they're done. Band-Aid.
I mean, is this
we
ever
love
going
a
to be buried?
Band-Aid.
I truly think that Kristen will never be over yelling or trying to tear down Sandoval. Yelling at or trying to tear down Sandoval.
Agreed. It's like her mission in life, which is fine.
Truly.
Everyone needs
it's her
hobbies.
passion. It's her hobby. Yeah.
That's fine. But like, do it. Like, why don't you go to his house and just like berate him? Like, why is it in public when we're trying to have fun?
Why is it like at a smoke break? Like, this is chill. We're having a good night. Like, why does she always have to ruin the fun?
A smoke break. I love it. I love how much they smoke. I want to follow them on like their lung journey. Like, are they all good?
Their
They
long
smoke
journey, I
so
can't.
much. There's no way. So, we go to Villa Rosa then. Ken brings Lisa some tea in her bed. Lisa brings up maybe doing a new young restaurant and bringing in a few young partners, like Tom Sandoval.
I mean, he's not just a bartender. He's more than that.
Yeah, he's been around for 8 years and he's hungry and the perfect junior partner. And
I
Ken's
do
like,
think Sandoval,
great.
if we're looking at the cast, Sandoval is probably one of the best people to
I
bring
agree.
on.
I agree. Here at this point, he's one of the least problematic on the cast. He
Is
is
super
very
passionate
charismatic.
about the bar.
Yeah, he would try and bring people in. I mean, remember, he was ready to fly to St. Louis and drink Vanderpump Rosé in the bars.
My God.
He's willing to do what it takes.
Again, it's the comparison game. Like, everybody else looks kind of worthless career-wise compared to Sandoval. Like, he just is the one who cares the most. So the cream rises to the top.
Great. So, and Ken's basically like, great, can we hook up tonight? I love him. So,
can we do more than just talk on this bed?
So we go back to New Orleans. The boys are giving girls lap dances, particularly Schwartz and Katie. But Schwartz drops a picture frame on her, which is hilarious. It's like when Katie got hit in the face.
She gets so offended. Well, she acts like he did that on purpose. I'm like, sometimes there are just accidents. You two get so revved up on each other with even just like breathing near each other.
Agreed. It's like when she got hit in the face with the beads. Like, she's already miserable. Add another thing. Yeah, just terrible. So, there's a bed in this bar, a Murphy bed. It comes down, which is wild.
I'm grossed out by this.
Gross, right? I said this is disgusting.
I like the bed. I think the lap dance stuff is funny, but the bed, I'm like, I don't want to know what has happened on this bed.
Katie lies down and is like, hey, and I was like, get your head off that thing.
Oh, like there were sheets on it. When was the last time those sheets had been washed?
Oh my God. Oh, disgusting. Anyway, so Schwartz gives her a lap dance. Jax is very impressed. He and Sandoval backup dance. Jax is fucking killing it. My dude's not stopping.
He like throws out the money. I was dying laughing.
Oh, he's so good. Okay, so then we have a hotel party in Katie and Schwartz's room. But first, Sandoval tells Jax and Peter that he had the weirdest conversation with Kristen, which fine. So then Katie goes and does Schwartz's makeup and puts like little tattoos and like penis tattoos on his face. So they have a good night. So the next morning, everyone's hungover. Jax has what he calls chicken cutlets on his face. They're just the under eye patches.
Died. Also, I didn't realize like under eye patches were such a thing. This is way before they're like mainstream in like the middle of America.
I know. Also, how does he not know from Jersey Shore that the chicken cutlet is what's in your bra?
How does he just not know from being a guy? There's no way he hasn't seen chicken cutlets.
Yeah, I mean that too, but I always think of that Jersey Shore hot tub scene where one of their things came out, because I had never called them a chicken cutlet before that scene. Like, that's where I figured out what they were called.
I'd always seen them in like movies or TV shows, like I feel like scripted, and then I heard it in Jersey Shore too, but just I feel like it's known. Why would that be a chicken cutlet? Like the eye thing.
I don't know. The eye thing? It's so skinny.
I get the comparison of saying like, oh, they're like your like chicken cutlet things. But him thinking they're the same thing kills me.
Terrible. He's terrible. Okay.
He's a moron.
So they're all trying to pack. Brittany says, please don't post pictures of yourself in drag. And it's probably because her mom's homophobic.
Yes. I was like, excuse me. What?
Her mom's.
I thought this was so funny. We're also on a TV show here. Like, people are going to see this.
Yeah. So, Brittany's like, no, homophobia is real where I'm from. My own mother. Yes. Remember when Jax, there was a rumor.
Well, I understand why if your mom is homophobic, like, you're not going to directly send these pictures to her. But, like, why are we curbing our life that's already on national television around the entire state of Kentucky, basically. And Brittany's lineage or like family
Because
tree.
Brittany's mom already thinks that Jax might have kissed a boy, okay? This would just
True.
further her fear of Jax being gay.
I just can't, because this is if this is the straw that breaks the camel's back with like Sherry liking Jax, there are so many worse things. Like this is the thing.
I know. I will never get over the roast where they're basically like, Jack's a cheater and a liar and a thief and a felon.
Yes.
And she's like, but he kissed a boy?
He might have kissed a boy.
When
We're
he was
done here,
single?
Brittany. Pack up your shit. Yeah.
So Shay thought yesterday was really good for the group, but everyone's still such a mess when they're drunk. And he knows because he's forced to be sober. And Sheena's not listening to him one fucking bit. She keeps interrupting.
He literally talks about how people don't listen when they're drinking. And he's like, yeah, so like if people just listen better. And Sheena's like, what? Can you hand me all that stuff? Oh, you're talking?
But then Shay also is like, Shay's hilarious. He's like, I really had to adjust a lot when I got married to you, Sheena. Like, I hate wearing jewelry, and now I wear a ring.
Again, just red alert alarms in my mind. I'm like, but you guys somehow look good compared to Katie and Tom. Like, this reminded me. Okay, you guys are still on rocky ground.
He's my favorite character.
He's like, I had to get used to like a joint bank account and like more money. Oh, that was hard? Oh, thank God he made it through.
Oh, I love Shay. Stassi talks about how she came to New Orleans and she kissed a guy. And even if it was Peter, it wasn't Patrick. And that made her feel good. And you know what?
That is nice.
We love exes you're friends with that you can still kiss without it being weird to help you get over your other exes.
It's like a cleansing ceremony. You got to get over the hump and move on. And so it had to be someone. If it was going to be any of our exes, I'm glad it was him.
Same. Glad it wasn't Jax. Could tell you that much.
Oh, that would send Brittany over the edge.
He already cried up to her. You can't have more.
Yes, Brittany would literally burn down the entire city.
So, Schwartz and Katie talk because Schwartz had to get the dicks off his face. His face is all red. Who cares? He kind of deserves it. Anyway, they agree not to fight, and they're in a really good place, they think. And it's time to focus on the wedding and not the bad parts of the relationship. And that's how we end this episode. So, next time we do a surf photo shoot. Sheena cries because she feels left out. Stassi goes on a dating app and a date. Lisa gets asked to marry Katie and Tom, but she's hesitant. Dun, dun,
I mean,
dun.
how
We all
awkward
are. We all
if
are.
somebody was hesitant to marry me.
We all are. Okay, so we have to do accepted and blocked. Lots of options for both, I feel like.
I agree.
So
I don't even know where to start. I kind of want to do accepted because I just want to be happy still.
I was going to say I only have my accepted.
Oh, okay. I have mine set in stone too. So let's do that.
Who's yours?
I'm going with Stassi.
Oh my God, that was mine.
She's a killer. Well, I think she deserves it. I think she's a killer friend this episode. It was fun to see her home life. She kissed Peter, even if it's like wasn't exactly what she wanted. She's still moving on from Patrick. I she's not in the drama, but she's not being like a shitty person. So like I'm really happy for her.
Agreed. For all the same reasons, I thought Stassi was a great friend to Katie. I think she stayed out of the drama relatively well. I love that she finally got to kiss Peter twice. I like that she's feeling better about Patrick, and she's grandma's favorite.
Oh, absolutely. I totally forgot about the grandma's favorite already.
So who is your blocked?
Blocked.
I know it's harder.
I know.
Because there's just so many.
There's just a lot of people I just want to forget exist is my problem, which is kind of like the same as blocking, but I'm just not as like passionate about one single person is my problem.
I think there's the big three I think could easily be blocked. Do you know?
For me, I'm just going to go Sandoval. I don't think he is helping his best. Like, he's kind of doing the opposite of Stassi. He's getting so involved in the drama, and he's not helping Schwartz get to a place to either. He's got a fork in the road here. Schwartz does, and Sandoval is not helping him say, like, all right, either you got to break this off and run and like end this relationship, or you need to resolve things. Instead, he's like lamenting about how Schwartz got basically like bullied into proposing to Katie, as if like Schwartz is some helpless puppy, and then is like so upset he's a battered wife. And it just, I can't with the dramatics over like Schwartz's own actions are truly the root of all of this, both the proposal and this like drama with Katie. So I can't deal with Sandoval. I think he's being a shitty friend, and I hate him in general right now.
Completely agree. But I'm gonna go with Schwartz because I think Schwartz was just so unhinged. He really went on the attack. He called Katie a bitch in the middle of the argument. He came at Stassi.
Yeah.
He can't ever take accountability for what he's done. No one holds him accountable though, so I understand why he wouldn't.
No.
But I can't with him anymore. And the band-aid of just like, Katie, yeah, we're talking it out, but let's just take shots instead. Like, really bothers me.
And then like when she gets pissed, he's like, okay, oh, you're mad at me? Let's just agree to disagree.
Like, no, fuck off. Great. What a way to end the episode though. We will be doing an after show. Great, but also do all the things I mentioned very painfully at the beginning of this episode.
Oh goodness.
Wait, I have my sign off. Ready?
Yeah, I mean, how could you forget?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for joining us, and forget what you heard and remember where you heard it first.
Bye.